Hello there, good evening. Welcome to Look North. Our top story tonight. An investigation is underway after the body of a baby was found in a pub toilet in Leeds.
So I'm appealing to the mother of this baby girl directly. Please get in touch with us, get in touch with our NHS colleagues, and please make sure that we can get you the care that you need.
Police say the child's death may have been a stillbirth. We'll be live with the latest. Also tonight, a post office manager from Sheffield says a controversial computer system might still be faulty. We meet a man living on painkillers and soup after a long battle to get a dental appointment. And sharing memories, the ex-nurses getting back together 60 years after they began their training.
Well, Cowan Calf sent this in from Ben Ridding earlier today. I mean, it really sums it up. What a dreadful day it's been. However, there is brighter weather on the way. Join me for the week ahead forecast.
Hello, I hope you had a lovely weekend. Thanks for your company tonight. First this evening, the police and NHS have made a joint appeal as they try to find the mother of a newborn baby found dead in a pub toilet in West Yorkshire. The girl was discovered at the Three Horseshoes in Alton near Leeds yesterday. It's thought she was stillborn within the bathroom cubicle. Our social affairs correspondent Emma Glasby joins us now from Alton. Emma, this is so distressing. What's the latest on this case?
Well, all day, West Yorkshire Police have been very keen to stress that the priority here is the welfare of the mother of the baby girl who's died and making sure that she gets any medical help that she might need. Now, we were told this afternoon this is a large-scale safeguarding inquiry and that police officers are concentrating on looking at CCTV, talking to witnesses and doing anything they possibly can to find the mother, to make sure that she is safe and that she can receive medical treatment. Now, we know that emergency services were called here to the Three Horseshoes pub in Alton just before 5 yesterday afternoon following the discovery of a newborn baby girl in the toilet area. Very sadly, it was confirmed that she had died by the paramedics who attended. Now, police say the latest information they have from their NHS colleagues is that this was a stillbirth and this may have taken place within a bathroom cubicle here at the pub. Now, earlier today, West Yorkshire Police and Leeds Teaching Hospitals NHS Trust made this joint appeal to the mother of the baby girl.
My appeal is to the mother of this baby girl. We're really concerned about your medical, physical and emotional well-being at this point in time, and we urgently ask you to seek some medical help and advice. You can either go to your GP, but if you don't feel comfortable to go to your GP, come to one of our ED departments, the walk-in centres, you can ring 111 or you can attend one of our maternity assessment centres here at Leeds.
From a police perspective, I just want to be really clear. I'm not here to arrest you, I'm not here to arrest anyone else. I'm here to make sure I understand what's happened and make sure that you get the medical attention that you need. And so I'm appealing to the mother of this baby girl directly. Please get in touch with us, get in touch with our NHS colleagues, and please make sure that we can get you the care that you need. Because all I want to achieve is making sure this doesn't happen again to you or to anyone else. If anyone else does have any information in relation to this that can help me achieve that, please get in touch with us as soon as you can.
Emma, has there been any word from the pub today?
Well, today the curtains have been drawn here, Amy, and West Yorkshire police officers have been inside the pub. The people in charge of running the pub announced today that they would not be opening after careful consideration for the welfare of their staff. They did post a message on Facebook last night saying sorry to all of those who were here yesterday during the time this happened and to those who were due to come but couldn't. They also said a massive thank you to all of those who helped yesterday when they were struggling as a team. Of course, tonight the focus is on finding the mother of this baby girl and making sure that she can receive the support that she might need.
Emma, thank you. Next tonight, a post office manager from Sheffield claims a new version of the controversial computer system used by the post office has left him almost £3,000 in debt. Nassar Aouf has spoken to Look North after faulty Horizon software led to more than 900 sub-postmasters being wrongly prosecuted for stealing money. The post office claims the updated version of the system is robust, but Nassar says it's still causing problems. Here's Mark Ansell.
It does mess with your head because of a mental state of mind, your stress and anxiety levels are through the roof.
Postmaster Nassar Aouf is always in fear at the end of the day when he's got to check the transactions are as expected in his Horizon computer system.
We go to about 4 or 5 o'clock of the day, we have to declare a balance, a final balance for that day. That's the moment the staff here dread, and that's the moment I dread as an owner, because inevitably I know that if I've got a huge loss, I am going to be in some serious turmoil, because that money, as it stands, I have to correct. And as it stands with the contract with the post office, potentially I could get prosecuted still to this day for any monies that's outstanding to the post office.
Last year, Nassar says he had an unexplained loss of £10,000 written off by the post office. He spent £2,500 on CCTV so he can prove neither he nor his staff are stealing, and he has the support of his customers.
It's ridiculous. He couldn't meet anybody more honest. Nassar has got a lovely community around here. He'll do anything for anybody, the elderly, the young. He'll help people, guide them through forms, make phone calls for them. And if he was to go, it would be a real loss.
Lee Castleton ran a post office in Bridlington. The ITV drama about the scandal shows how he was pursued through the courts and left bankrupt. Lee sends his solidarity to Nassar.
My heart goes out to him and all the others, all the other postmasters that are currently suffering under this seemingly endless, traumatic passage of time. It's just horrendous. And the only thing you can do is just be straightforward, keep pushing back, and hope beyond all hope that they listen.
In a statement, the post office says, "We are very sorry to hear about the experiences of our postmaster for Banner Cross. We visited the postmaster twice in October and in December, and we made suggestions around how he might improve the operational processes in the branch, and also offered to arrange a visit from one of our field trainers to refresh both him and his colleagues."
Nassar is calling for the Horizon computer system to be scrapped. He fears he'll have to close the post office if the unexplained losses continue. Mark Ansell, BBC Look North, Sheffield.
The head teacher and deputy at a Yorkshire primary school say they're leaving their jobs because of the traumatic effect of Ofsted inspections. Today, MPs have called for the 1- or 2-word judgments used by Ofsted to be scrapped after finding widespread and deep concern about the system. Carla Fowler has more.
The head teacher and deputy of Sacred Heart Primary School in Leeds. They're both leaving their jobs because of an Ofsted rating. In June last year, inspectors visited and didn't like the record keeping on children's welfare, although everything else was good. The overall school, however, was labelled inadequate.
The impact of having ourselves described as inadequate was traumatic, and is something that will always be there, and is one of the main things that has stayed with me from the process.
It was incredibly difficult, incredibly emotional for me, and incredibly lonely.
The inspection rating was a shock to staff and parents. Within 3 months, it was re-inspected, and this time the judgment overall was good. There was no evidence any child had been at risk. Today, MPs say this kind of 1- or 2-word judgment is wrong. They recommend inadequate judgments on safeguarding should only be applied where a school is fundamentally failing to keep children safe. Good schools should be inspected less frequently, and parents' views should be considered.
The 1-word judgments need to be not in existence.
King Edward VII School in Sheffield had a consistently good reputation and rating until it was found inadequate by Ofsted inspectors in 2022.
To hear that word inadequate levelled against me, because I felt that personally, because I was the head teacher and ultimately accountable for the success of King Edward VII School, I felt despair, I felt rage, I felt a really strong sense of injustice.
With a daughter thriving in Year 7 at the time, parent Emma Wilkinson joined a massive local campaign against the Ofsted rating. She felt it unfair and unrepresentative of the school she knew. She's now given evidence to the MPs on the Education Select Committee.
We definitely weren't listened to at all throughout the campaign, throughout the process. Nobody was interested in what we thought, despite the huge strength of feeling, clearly. Parents going out of their way to support the school and say this isn't the school we recognise.
Parents rely on Ofsted to inform choices for their children's education. Ofsted's welcomed the Select Committee's report, saying it would respond to its recommendations. But an overhaul looks inevitable if it's to rebuild credibility. Carla Fowler, BBC Look North.
A man has been jailed for climbing through a bedroom window of a stranger's house and sexually assaulting a 12-year-old girl in Sheffield. 23-year-old Bolshuva Hava used a ladder to climb through the upstairs window of a house in Darnall while the girl was asleep in May last year. He's been sentenced to 6 years in prison. A man from South Yorkshire who needs urgent dental treatment says he's been turned away from 16 NHS dentists. David Creamer from Rotherham lost some of his upper teeth 18 months ago and has been living on a diet of soup and rice pudding. The retired pit worker's case was raised in Parliament after he was quoted £5,000 to have the work done privately.
I'm on 3 lots of medication just to treat the current state of my dental needs at the moment.
Since appearing on the BBC this morning, you have had a call from an NHS dentist offering you an appointment. How do you feel about that?
I think it's absolutely atrocious. I've had to go to my MP and the BBC to get help, for dentistry. But at least something's happened, and thanks to local media, they'll probably come to my rescue.
Hundreds of clients of a Sheffield law firm are facing huge bills despite being assured their cases were on a no-win, no-fee basis. SSB Law went into administration early this month, owing £200 million. Many of the people affected were making claims about ineffective cavity wall insulation that's led to dampness. Here's our business correspondent, Spencer Stokes.
After Kabir Kaleem from Todmorden had cavity wall insulation installed in his home, he started to notice dampness. So when he was advised he could seek a compensation claim on a no-win, no-fee basis, he decided to say yes. But his case wasn't successful. He's learned there will be a fee because the Sheffield legal firm that represented him has gone into administration.
I've got a demand for payment for just over £11,000. When you get something like that coming through your post and saying you've got 10 days to pay, otherwise enforcement action is going to be taken, it's extremely distressing.
Can you afford to pay it? Will you pay it?
There are a number of different options, but I think ultimately we've been told we are liable.
SSB Law collapsed into administration earlier this month. One solicitor, now looking at many of the cases, believes there could be more than 1,400 people affected.
It is a complete mess. They were told win or lose, they wouldn't face any adverse costs. That hasn't come to pass. Incredibly stressful, and nobody should be obviously left in this situation.
I was not expecting that kind of bill.
In Bradford, Omar has also been hit by demand for nearly £12,000. His damp proofing didn't work and he claimed for compensation, understanding it would be on a no-win, no-fee basis.
I'm feeling quite stressful at the moment because I have 3 children to look after, and it is going to be difficult, very, very difficult if I have been asked to pay that amount of money. So I have no clue how I'm going to raise that money to pay that debt.
We've tried to put the allegations to the directors of SSB Law, but it's not been possible to reach them. Administrators FRP Advisory say another law firm will now look at any adverse cost claims. Meanwhile, the Solicitors Regulation Authority is investigating to work out what went wrong with the claims. Spencer Stokes, BBC Look North.
Time for sport now. Sally's here, and all change again at Huddersfield Town, Sal.
Yeah, a new manager to be replacing him again, because Huddersfield Town have sacked manager Darren Moore this afternoon after just 3 wins in 23 matches. The 49-year-old, who led Sheffield Wednesday to promotion to the Championship last season, replaced Neil Warnock as Terriers boss in September.
A lot of bad luck, you know what I mean? He's had a lot of injuries, players going out, players not being fit, illness. He has battled against quite a lot of things, but when he has had a squad available, and when there's games that you think, go on, you can do more, go and win the game, and they've sat back. I think it's 9 1-1 draws. You know what I mean? It's not good enough, and there's only one way they're going, and that was into the bottom 3.
Now to the FA Cup, and we have 2 teams left in contention after this weekend's 4th round fixtures. Leeds United and Sheffield Wednesday will both need replays. Leeds went ahead in the first half with this great goal from Bournemouth loanee Jadon Anthony. After scoring, he paid tribute to his mum, who died last week, with a message on his shirt. But Plymouth Argyle pulled one back for the 1-1 draw. Leeds will travel to Chelsea or Villa if they can win their replay. And Sheffield Wednesday scored a late equaliser through Deji Gassama to earn a replay with their fellow Championship side, Coventry. The winner of that replay will face non-league Maidstone United in the 5th round. They, of course, knocked out Ipswich in that massive FA Cup shock of the weekend.
Now, well over a century, the voices of the Steeton Male Voice Choir have been belting it out in the Aire Valley. Well, now, after featuring in a film called Say Your Prayers a few years ago, a documentary has been released which goes behind the scenes, exploring the traditions and the big characters of the choir. Beth Parsons is live at the rehearsals for us this evening. I hope we're going to get a good tune out of them, Beth.
Oh, we are going to get a good tune, Amy. Don't you worry about it. Monday night is rehearsal night for the Steeton Male Voice Choir, a choir that's often described as one of the oldest and most respected in Yorkshire. Now, they have just released a mini documentary, came out just before the new year. It's called Canning Forever. We're going to chat to a few of the members in a second, but have a little look at this, a bit of a preview.
I'm not given to weeping, but I had tears in my eyes because they were singing stuff my mother used to sing.
And the more I thought about it, the more excited I became about it. I thought, I can actually do this. There are a load of men, and I can, you know, be a bit cheeky and what have you and stuff.
Now, you will have just seen Cathy Sweet, the musical director there. You are a female musical director for 60 men in this room. How much of a challenge is that?
It's been interesting at times, yes, but they're a great set of guys and they sing very, very well and they work very, very hard. But we've had our challenges, I think, not maybe because the age of the guys that they are, and you know they although they sing well, you know they've in this they struggled in the COVID and subsequently, but we've got a lovely strong choir still, so we're very lucky.
Yes. Well, I'll let you go and get them warmed up because we're going to have a performance in a second. David, you were in the documentary. How was it watching it from the outside?
Well, it was great to see what my colleagues' experiences from it, and some of the history which surrounds male voice singing. And basically, I think the legacy that was set in 1907 with this particular choir is, like I said at the end, it really is worth canning forever.
I agree, it is. Let's come over to you, Daniel. You are 30. You're the youngest member in the choir. You were in your 20s when you joined. What was in it for you? Why did you want to join the choir?
I saw these guys performing at a May Day concert just around the corner from my house a couple of years ago, and I just stopped by. I offered to help with a bit of technical equipment, and I got talking to one of the guys in charge. They said we're always on the lookout for, you know, new faces, young faces to come and join. I'd done a little bit of choir singing going through school when I was younger, and I'd been out of the loop for a while, so I thought maybe I should get back into it. So I came along to a couple of rehearsals, and the rest is history, really. Yeah.
Well, let's see what you've got then, Daniel. Go and take your seat. It is time to hear a little bit of music. This is the brilliant Steeton Male Voice Choir, and this is their song, Let All Men Sing. Take it away.
They certainly are in fine voice this evening. Kathy is running a tight ship. Well done, you lot. That sounded gorgeous. Now, 60 years ago today, 31 teenage girls travelled to Leeds to start their lives as nurses. They were to live together in an old stately home for intensive training, then spend 3 years on the wards. Well, today, 17 of them came back to Leeds for a reunion. And what they don't know about nursing, well, it's not worth knowing. Kathy Killick has been to meet them.
60 years may have passed, but you never lose that bond forged in training. It was 1964 when these wonderful women left home for a new life as nurses. Today they're reuniting to reminisce and share the pride and mementos of their early working lives. The reunion organiser is Anne Sharp.
So Anne, you've got a lovely little box of treasures here. What's inside?
Just a few little memories here. I've got my fob watch, which doesn't have a battery in, so it's actually going. I wound it up this morning and it's going.
Fob watch still working?
Fob watch is still working, can you believe?
Wonderful.
60 years later.
Look at that. And lots of badges too.
It took 3 years to earn a state-registered nurse's badge and another year to get a prized hospital badge. This one's from the Leeds General Infirmary. But before the trainees could be let loose on the wards, they came here to Roundhay Hall for nursing school. The cloth merchant's mansion housed patients during the First World War, and it's now the Spire Hospital. The former nurses were welcomed there for a look round and a lunch.
It brings back a lot of memories. I can remember sliding down the banister behind us and doing all the things that I suppose teenagers do at 18.
We were treated like little girls. When we were 20, we'd have been, I don't remember, it was 10 or half past. And if you wanted it to be later, you had to have permission from your parents, for matron, to let you have a late pass if you were going to a ball or something, which we did in those days.
Uniforms were starchy and originally based on nuns' habits, not exactly the swinging 60s.
The hat had to be 11 inches across and measured, and it had to be right. You had to look right, and if you didn't, you were told. And they did come onto the wards occasionally and check that your uniform was right.
We went onto the ward. You had to say prayers when you went onto the ward, slip in and say prayers, and then we had the bed bathing trolley, and I wasn't told that you had to put a big bowl in before you put the little bowl of water in, and the water all over the floor. And that's one of my first memories of being on a ward. Oh, I did get into trouble.
Between them, they've clocked up 550 years of nursing service and say they needed a black sense of humour, no sense of smell, and a love of people to enjoy it, which they have. Kathy Killick, BBC Look North, Leeds.
You can't beat a good reunion, can you? Especially after a day like today. It's been damp, it's been dark, it's been depressing, and Paul's here to make us feel even worse.
Absolutely awful. I've spoken to the Met Office at Leeming, who say it's been one of the wettest January days on record with 35 millimetres of rain, so it has been dreadful. And I didn't want to show you any pictures from today, so I've picked some from the weekend, because at least there was some blue sky, and that's beautiful. Nice. That's on the Leeds-Liverpool Canal, a lovely walk down there heading towards Keighley, and this is beautiful as well. Look at the snowdrops there, Falkirk, which is not far from Barnsley. Plenty of sunshine there this weekend, so if you've got any pictures that you'd like to send me, not from today, but perhaps tomorrow will be brighter on X, Instagram and on the Weather Watcher website. So thankfully today will turn out to be the worst day of the week, and tomorrow, although we're off to a slow start with a lot of cloud, it will brighten up quite nicely from the northwest, and tomorrow afternoon looks largely dry with some sunshine. The next weather front comes through late Wednesday into Wednesday night. Quite a windy day on Wednesday, and then Thursday's the first day of February. Can you believe it? Friday as well, much milder air. Some spots in the east of our area could see temperatures of 14 degrees on Friday afternoon. Right, there's the radar picture. This front's just been stuck right across us. The rain's been really quite heavy across the Pennines. The river levels again will be rising, I'm sure, and we've got more rain to come through this evening and overnight. But look, the blues lose their intensity. The weather front does weaken, and we're just left with a little drizzle and patchy light rain by dawn. Lowest temperatures coming in at around 5 or 6 degrees. So tomorrow's high water times in Scarborough 6:52, Bridlington at 7:15. So it's a slow start, cloudy, a bit damp in places, just a little patchy light rain and drizzle, but that will sink away southwards. Skies brighten from the northwest, so the Yorkshire Dales get the sunshine first, and eventually I think North Nottinghamshire, South Yorkshire into the afternoon will be bright with some sunshine, so a much better day in general after that slow start. We will see temperatures around 7 or 8 degrees, close to average for the end of January. Windy on Wednesday, mostly dry and bright, some patchy rain later, and then really Thursday, Friday into the weekend, very mild indeed, just the hint of a little patchy rain for a time on Saturday. And that's the forecast.
Every morning is a slow start in our house. It's those dark mornings.
Terrible.
Oh, they're a struggle. That's it from us. Corinne's here with your late news. Bye-bye.